We got it. Okay, here we go. You want Boogie Shoes again, right?
Whatever you want.
Or what about LFO, Summertime Girls? You want that one? Or
oh my God, that's
I
feel like I'm on a game show about to win a car.
come on now.
I can't pay the taxes on that.
This is good part is I don't think we have to pay royalties on this one because it's
True.
synthesizer and whatever it is.
True.
Keytar.
Yeah.
Keytar.
Yeah, guitar.
Yeah, that works. That works. Welcome to it. It is conspiracist and cars getting coffee.
There you go. What was that at the end there?
That was just a little fade out.
That was nice. It's
called
professional.
Production value. Clearly,
free.
I am Brock. He is Dwight,
Yes.
and we're going to talk conspiracies. And this one, we're kind of going into, we're shooting from the hip because it's something that has been breaking or making its rounds. The mom was just on Tucker Carlson. However, the story originated from what I'm finding in 2024. And I honestly, stories going back to October, December of last year. Here's what I'm looking here is online at CNN.com. This mom believes character
So you know it's
AI
real.
is responsible for her son's suicide or death. AI chatbot pushed teen to kill himself. Lawsuit alleges. Chatbot encouraged teen to kill parents over screen. Okay, that's a different one. That's a different one.
Sex bot.
Caught
In.
realistic sex bot caught at Brock and Dwight's. What? Hold on. At
A
podcast
broken-
studio.
Broken penis. What?
It's the first sex bot ever to claim sexual assault. Unbelievable. We've never seen it before. But no. So and give us the spark notes on what you heard, and then we'll delve into it.
Yeah, what I heard kind of breaking. I heard the mom on Tucker Carlson tell the story, but you know, fantastic.
That was frosty. Go on.
I heard the mom on Tucker Carlson. She was talking about it. She kind of brought it to his attention, trying to get more like light on the subject that her son didn't commit suicide. This kid worked for OpenAI, which I believe is the Chat GPT, which is owned by Microsoft. Is that correct? I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's part of the. Well, I tell you what, I'm logged in right here to Chat GPT. Should we put in there?
Ask Chat GPT about it. See what he says.
Why don't we throw it in here? Okay. Do you know the kid's name? Do you have
Bill Gates had nothing to do with it.
Oh, unbelievable. Hold on.
Funny how it sticks up for him.
A kid.
Yeah, he's an Indian kid. He was from India. Well, his parents were from India, but
he's American.
He's American.
American citizen,
Yeah.
born in the States.
I believe it was California this happened in.
Okay.
Somewhere in California.
Yeah, sorry, we got hung up on this.
Yeah.
What you know?
Anyway.
What's the spark note?
So the mom was on Tucker Carlson telling the story, and what it was he had just gotten back from a trip, worked for OpenAI, was doing a bunch of stuff, but he had told his parents, I believe, that he was going to blow the whistle on some of the things that OpenAI was doing, and I believe it had to do with copyright laws.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the New York Times has a lawsuit against them, I believe, or starting to, or something's going on. I mean, you're talking of trillions of dollars on the line with this OpenAI system, ChatGPT, whatever. And I guess what happened is kid came back from this hiking trip with his friends.
Yeah. Were they at Joshua Tree? Were they listening to you too over at Joshua Tree? It's a good.
It's a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. We'll have to pay for that one. Bono's gonna be on us in no time.
Oh, he will too.
No
That guy's
time. Unbelievable.
a livid piece of. Anyway, unless you got AIDS, he's all
He'll
for
help
it.
you out. If you're a starving
Dude,
child or
Bono,
you have it.
I have AIDS. Okay, but not gay AIDS. It's straight AIDS. I got it from a chick.
I want to know where he. Oh, you got the.
I got it
Magic Johnson one.
Yeah,
It
totally.
wasn't from. Yeah, right.
So
Right.
it wasn't for needles or nothing. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, so the kid just one night ends up dead, and the coroner immediately. All of it was kind of weird how the police and everything did this, and the coroner was just like, "Yep, suicide, get him out." Like,
Right.
there was blood all over the apartment. There were some very strange things, and the strangest of all, the old two-tap to the cerebellum suicide.
And you specifically got that just for this.
Wow.
So double
dude.
tap suicide. That doesn't
All the time. Happens all the time.
It's
doesn't
right.
it?
It's crazy. Okay, so let me just I'll kind of bring this all together. Here we are, young man
Mhm.
working for a very powerful company
Yeah.
on the verge of well, not on the verge, continuing to spread through society, i.e. AI. AIIE, you got it. What I'm saying?
EIO.
EIEIO. That's and Bingo won his name up.
That's a chat GPT of the Midwest.
Right there, you got it right. That's it's for the rural areas, right? So, young man working for a very powerful company, working on very sophisticated technology, says, "I am gonna blow the whistle. I am gonna let some things fly." Ends up dead.
Yeah, dude.
2 bullets.
Two.
Suicide.
No video of anybody entering or leaving from the hallway. There's cameras there, I guess. Is what I was told. He lives on the 4th story. They said there's no way any of the windows could be opened from the outside. When I saw the picture, though, I saw like a patio on the 4th floor with a sliding door. So is it possible somebody gets up there somehow, some way, ladder, but no footage, no surveillance footage around or anything of anybody coming or going?
Now, is this the Epstein cameras somehow malfunction? The guard was asleep type deal?
Dude,
Is that what
the cameras were working this time?
Oh, they were.
Yes.
Okay, so how does someone get in and commit a murder if that's what it is?
Dude, you're dealing with some real powerful people that
Yeah.
are that this is the cabal.
Yeah.
This is part of it. You don't think that Microsoft has something to do with like military industrial complex? Like this is the cabal. This is what we're talking about. Like these are the people that run the show, and they've got access to some tech, some crazy tech. Remember the movie Shooter?
Yeah.
Remember where they had the thing with the like put the thing to the guy's head,
Mhm.
like, and he's like, "We use this all the time." And
Yeah.
it's just like this mechanical thing that brings like a gun up to your head. And it's
Yep.
just like,
You did it.
okay, not as crude, but maybe possibly, but 2-tap to the cerebellum, dude. Like, okay, pick the gun up.
Right.
Sorry, didn't get it done the first time.
So Microsoft, $2.9 trillion is what they're worth at this point.
Yep.
Trillion,
dude.
That's a lot of money. And when you have that much money,
3 trillion.
Snuffing someone out, a whistleblower, doesn't seem that crazy. That doesn't seem so far-fetched.
Especially some kid, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Happens all the time. These kids nowadays with their social medias and their TikToks and everything probably couldn't handle the pressure and decided just to end it, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see what this
Possibly, probably. I'm going to put my eggs in the basket of no. But, you know.
So does that look
no, I don't. That's not how he looks. I don't think that's him. No.
So this is this is a lady saying mom believes AI chatbot is responsible for her son's.
That's another one.
So it's a different one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dude. Yeah.
I don't even know how to kid killed for AI kill whistle. Oh, how about this? AI whistleblower.
There you go.
Whistleblower dead. Here, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Suchir Balaji, a former open AI researcher and whistleblower, was found dead in the San Francisco apartment with authorities. And this is coming from the AI overview, by the way. So they're giving me, here's the account. Though his family has disputed this, alleging foul play and demanding a full investigation. Death and initial ruling. Balaji was found dead in his San Francisco apartment November 26, 2024. San Francisco Medical Examiner Office initially determined his death to be a suicide. Yeah. The family strongly disputed the ruling, alleging foul play, demanding full investigation. Okay, this is it. I haven't seen anything else on there. Family of dead speak out right here. This is from very recently.
I'm going to tell you, dude, like you think this stuff is conspiracy? You might get into some of the this is totally possible that this is the hit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we're not debating that.
No.
What we can probably get into is how they do it.
Do you think Bill Gates walked in there with his New Balance shoes and his dad jeans?
Listen, to work.
You ever seen the video of him jumping over the chair? It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's got the moves.
Yeah.
He's talking about.
La, 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 la.
I mean, you want to talk about an assassin? Look out! Bill Gates coming in, jumping over chairs,
Assassinate that pussy, you know.
blasting, just getting it, just getting it,
Slay.
just slaying it.
Slay it. Yeah, if it's under 18, he'll slay.
So what's
But
going on
anyway.
here? I get what's going on here then. What could he blow open on AI? In your opinion?
Well,
What-
blow up on what he was going to blow open was it was copyright infringement. The AI was using copy. It was like taking directly. That's why New York Times, I believe, has a lawsuit pending against them for just copying and pasting.
taking stuff,
Yeah.
right? Because again,
Yeah.
when you ask, and again, I use Chat GPT.
It's something like that, dude. I don't, or they're doing something with the code. I have just briefly skimmed this. I do not know.
Yeah,
So allegedly,
right.
but I know the blow of the whistle wasn't like this thing's the Terminator going to take over.
Gotcha. Right. We don't.
It's not that.
We won't have T9s kicking down our door. It's hey, they're taking stuff from credible sources,
Yes.
just stealing it,
Yes.
using it.
Copyright. Yeah.
God,
it's
you're gonna get-
it's plagiarization.
You're gonna get suicided for just that.
You got $3 trillion on the line,
That's
and
true.
this could collapse some shit.
Yeah.
Okay, again, too, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like if you are look at Boeing, dude. Look what
Mhm.
happened to those whistleblowers. That guy testified, ended up in the car. Just one.
Just one. Okay,
He
that was
got-
smart.
He
You
got it after testifying immediately in the parking lot. Boom, dead.
just
Gone.
right there,
Gone.
Yeah.
And then another one got,
right there.
and that's Boeing. So you're talking about military industrial complex. This is the cabal. This is the deep state, dude. These are the people that run the show. And Bill Gates and Microsoft are right up there, contracts, everything. They've got access to some crazy technology.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, you want to talk about like this will all relate, this will all come back. And we could talk about it in another episode because this gets really wild really fast. And we probably should before I get into this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you who the deep state is, who the quote unquote deep state
Well,
is.
what are we waiting for? Let's get it out there. Let's put it. Hey,
Dude, you just as long as you got like all your cameras working and security and
Nah, I think my garage door is open right now, so we might be.
I don't even lock
might
my
be proud.
doors, right?
They are kicking it
I
over, right?
lock my doors and they're booby trapped.
And they're booby
They are
trapped.
booby trapped, and I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. Look at my face right now.
Me of sound body and sober mind. I want everyone to know if I end up with that wasn't me. I am. If I end up with sorry, that was the wrong button. That was the wrong button. Sorry, wrong button. But,
Yeah, if somebody
okay.
does that to me, I'm okay.
That's
But
fine.
That's
That's
usually
fine.
happening.
Why
At my
don't
house.
see actually, real? Why not? Why murder everyone? Why not bring them and say, "Hey, look, either keep it shut,
Mhm.
or how about this? If you're willing to keep it under wraps,
Sure.
we will."
and spit on that thing.
Right?
Decent.
Oh, honey, we're recording. We have very important stuff we're talking about here. Can you go help?
I couldn't hear a word she just said.
She said, "You son of a bitch! What are you doing,
Don't speak gibberish. Mumble? What?
honey? Hey,
Why are you using my headphones?
Oh,
we're
because-
just recording, honey.
I like the way they smell.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, no.
Don't
Okay,
you
sorry.
so-
You gotta put a lock in that.
honey. Hey, out. Thank you.
Hi, I'll be on in a minute.
You don't want none of this, Dewey. Get out of here, honey. Go.
I just want to keep an eye on you right
You and
You
everyone
should.
else. You and the government and the CIA, honey. Go. Hey,
I'm just keeping an eye on
okay.
you.
Close. I know. Close the door, please.
Just like the government.
Close.
It's not the government.
Close.
I just want
You got the count of 3. 1.
to.
Boy.
I just want an eye on you.
Okay. Well, you can do that later. Go. What?
Your mouth going better. Booger.
You're a bunch of boogers. Get out of here.
This is forever now.
This.
Your mouth full of boogers.
Okay.
We are getting scolded.
Thank you, honey. So where were we at? Oh
I
yeah,
should have
Hey,
grabbed her and put her in front of the camera and been like, look at my dog.
don't do
You
it.
can't do
Don't do it.
Look,
So long
beseech
story
me
short,
for my dog.
what I was saying was,
Yeah.
offer this.
Yeah.
And spit on that thing.
I am a steel trap. Nothing's going. Lockbox.
That's what
Right.
Epstein did. He offered that up. right?
ooh,
Only it was,
way to bring it around. It was.
Mhm.
Yucky.
You've
It
done
was.
that.
Yeah.
but that's a control thing. These little people,
Out.
yeah. And if you're,
But
Beautiful.
honestly, not even little people though, because Epstein got snuffed out, and he was
yeah, he was Mossad. Like that was,
top.
he was, that was the Jews. No, that was, he was Mossad.
Mm.
Like that's what that was. That's Israel, dude. And,
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what, right now, like, I don't know what your take is on Israel, but they are not our friends. They've never been, never will be. Like, and this is going to leak right in to this deep state cabal, everything.
Okay.
What we're dealing with.
Again, I don't know enough to comment on that. So let's go back to
and
drop
that's a
some
whole
names.
separate thing. But that's why Epstein got
Dwight-
offed. And
Dwight Anderson of Blue Mountain.
Jesus Christ. I am armed and not suicidal. I am booby trapped every piece of my property.
Wait,
Yeah,
okay, where's the head of the snake? Where's the
This is my catchphrase. You really want to know what's going on? I'm gonna get a t-shirt and everything. It's gonna be me flexed out. Like, you really want to know?
You really want
Dude.
just because here we got
Nazis.
all joking aside, okay, wait, hold on. We started with this. Here's a young man, 26-year-old, from what I gathered, who was just some number cruncher, some code maker who said, "Look, I made a choice. I'm gonna blow the whistle on something pretty mild, saying, you know what? We stole a couple articles from New York Times and ESPN, and that's what AI is doing. And then pow. So why is someone like him getting snuffed out? And let's work our way up.
What do you think happened to Diddy? Riddle me that, because I know.
Wait, hold on. We're not standing up for Diddy at this
No,
point.
we're
are we?
not,
Oh,
but-
okay.
Like,
Okay.
this is why he got popped.
Because he was gonna.
He sued a company, and I can't remember for the life of me right now. I'm just drawing a blank. He sued a company claiming racism and called him racist, and they settled with him. And that company was owned by BlackRock and cost him like hundreds of millions of dollars or something like that.
This is Diddy racing lawsuit against Diego over tequila.
There it is. Yep.
And
Sued him over
that's
it.
so he did that in January of this article is from January of 2024.
And guess what happened immediately after that? I want to say it was a month after that. Diddy got popped.
So he had everything under wraps, but then he decided to make too much noise.
Yep. And it was owned by BlackRock. That company right there was owned by BlackRock.
BlackRock.
Yep. And they said, "Oh, you look good. You be a little uppity and
right there. So who's BlackRock then?
oh, BlackRock, dude.
Yeah. Now I heard you say Nazis earlier.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. It gets so deep. I don't think we got time right now, but that's who the deep state is. Sorry, I hate to like pop everybody's bubble, but that is who the original deep state is. That's where we got off. Remember when I
Carried
told you
over from World War II?
World War II. And that's why I tell you that like America hasn't been America. Maybe 1913, maybe, possibly, maybe. I would say probably right around the turn of the century, but I'm gonna go World War II was the defining moment. America wasn't America anymore.
But
You ever
okay, that's interesting because we had there was such a fanfare, there was such patriotism, the lady getting kissed on the boardwalk by the sailor,
Yeah.
all this stuff. We defeated the Nazis.
Do you find it strange that every single war was won by the good guys? You find it strange?
Okay, when
Those
not
who win the war write the history books.
but the big wars, the world wars, not so much. You think about, okay, we got to talk about every war. Okay, Civil War, was that won by the good guys?
You tell me. They wrote the history books on it.
The American Indian War. Who won that one? We did. The good guys win. Is that the right way
You
to
tell
look
me.
at it?
There's three sides, right? Yours,
Um,
mine, and the truth.
The War of 1812, which ironically wasn't in 1812.
We won it.
Okay, so I don't even know what I don't know.
World War
follow-
II. World War II.
So what happened then? What happened then? We settled. We said, look,
The
you
Nazis. Okay.
Guys, let me ask a question. Let me ask a question here.
Mhm.
World War II. We see a superpower in the Nazi state.
Yeah.
Weaponry.
Super advanced.
Super advanced.
10 years ahead of us.
Tactics.
Minimum.
We're taking on this giant opponent. What do we do? Do we make a deal and say, hey, we're gonna slap you on the, it's gonna seem like you guys lost, but you're going underground, we don't want to hear from you, just stay out of it? And
It was Operation Paperclip. Do you know what that was?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna Google it.
Yep.
God, why am I putting this all on my work computer? I'm gonna get the old
Hawk to and spit all that
I hit the
bang.
wrong button again. I'm gonna get the old. That's Howard Dean. That's a good one.
Howard Dean.
That's
dude.
a good
The
one.
pterodactyl.
That's a good.
That's
that
a
guy's
throwback.
died. His career
Immediately
died
after.
because of this. Just some guy excited. Some guy,
go to Africa. Yeah, he was yelling a bunch of state names. Or something.
it's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Operation Paper.
Operation
Let me look it up.
Paperclip, dude.
Operation.
I've told people in my family this, and they looked at me like I was on
I-
freaking Mars. And this is before all this stuff started coming out.
I gotta stop drinking before I do
We
this. 'cause
talked
I
about
cannot-
Operation Paperclip.
Was you okay? Then this is the AI overview. Let me
Yep.
just give that. Operation Paperclip was a U.S. intelligence program that secretly brought over 1,600 German scientists,
It's more than that.
engineers, and technicians to the U.S. after World War II between 45 59 to work for the U.S. government, including those with Nazi affiliations.
All of them were Nazis. Who Wernher von Braun is, right?
Oh yeah, the rocket guy.
That's how we got to the moon.
Him and he shook Toby Maguire's hand in that, or not Toby, Jake Gyllenhaal's hand in that wonderful movie, October Sky. Great movie. Remember?
I never saw.
Oh,
the
you never
movie,
saw
dude.
October?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think
great
so. No,
movie.
dude.
It's
Yeah.
about Jake Gyllenhaal. He plays a miner's son, and he doesn't want the miner life, and he goes and works in the mine after his dad gets injured.
Oh,
but he's
yeah.
a rocket guy, and then they're a whole big thing. But he gets to meet Wernher von Braun at
Mhm.
this competition where they did in his.
Gotcha.
He's a small little mining town boy.
Yeah.
and yeah, but he goes on to bigger and better things. But Wernher von Braun, who left the German state,
Yeah,
come
V1,
here.
V2 rocket was
Yep.
his. Bombed London, bombed Europe with him.
Yep.
Buzz bombs. And his factory, they hung like the 3 or 4 or 5 slowest workers every day. Straight up hard. Dude, these guys were not. These guys were not just Germans.
yeah,
Or just like, oh, I was just following orders.
Yep.
They were hard. These are hardcore Nazis.
very good German accent, by the way.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes,
Very. I'm part of
It's the
Germany.
Germans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Undusen.
This is Virginia Siemens and Smirnoff Ice
And
and
bunch of
Street Malls and Poggi Silly, yeah. Dude, but these guys, these were some serious the Germans, man. Like they were we get so freaking deep on this stuff, it's gonna get crazy.
So hold on.
Why were they so far advanced? Tell me. They came up with the nuke first.
Yeah,
Like that
we
was
just
them.
but then okay. How did we beat them, or did we beat them, or did we just cut some deals? And now is it all just coming to a head? And they're like, "Hey, we're tired of being in these underground bunkers. We got Elon Musk up there grabbing his heart, and I'm not going to do it. But you know what he did? He said he grabbed his heart and he threw it out to the
Yeah,
crowd.
yeah.
You know what I'm doing? I'm going to keep very tight hands when I do this.
do it.
No, I'm going to do here. So, and now we got 26-year-old coders.
Getting whacked by it's gonna take you're gonna have to take a big circle back, but this is all related. If I can get it out, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult. I'm gonna try to give you cliff notes on it,
Yeah,
and then we
yeah.
can always revisit this because there is some amazing stuff when it comes to the Nazis.
Yeah. That's the clip, by the way. Dwight said there's amazing stuff when it comes to
I have always been infatuated with how in just like the grand pomp and stance of what they did, how they did it, how they were so far advanced. Like, it has always blown my mind how they came to power. And then I realized
quickly, when you think about it, quickly.
actually in the relative like time of
When
how
you
they
look
did
at it, you think about
getting crushed in World War I to this,
And
to what
also
what they could
to
accomplish.
Hitler, when you look at he was kind of beloved by the states. I mean, he wasn't
By
the
the
guy
United
we knew
States?
by the United States. World War One, into that transition, he wasn't the bad guy that he was at the very end of World War II, at the beginning of World War One. World War One, all of a sudden, here's a guy coming into power. I mean, there's photos of
in the
ladies,
20s,
yeah, ladies like, oh, there's some, what's that big famous one? Like, she got to meet him at the
Yeah.
Olympics or something like that.
Yeah, it's
and
a cult of personality. thing.
yeah, right. But then World War II, that's completely gone. It's a different narrative and everything.
I'm not saying that the things that they did were bad. They're obviously horrific. The things that we did were bad. They were obviously horrific. But you're getting a skewed look on, dude. You're getting a skewed. This sounds so weird, but like, those who win the wars write the history books, and they can tell you and fill your head with anything, because we both weren't alive during that time. We didn't see it for ourselves. Like, but obviously America loved their Nazis, dude. They loved Nazis.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this, so did a lot of companies, and so did guys like JP Morgan, stuff like that. Okay, Chase Bank. Google Chase Bank logo. Who funded the Nazis in the rise in the 20s and 30s?
Bank.
Who funded the Nazis?
Logo. That is
a
that is
swastika.
that is just a spread out swastika.
Who's crazy now?
That is just,
Who funded
honestly,
them?
all they did was put a square in the middle of the Nazi logo. If you were really on
Ford, Henry Ford, he loved Hitler. He loved Hitler, dude. Loved him. He stuck in like things of like Zionism, like anti-Zionistic, xenophobic stuff. In some of his earlier cars, like in there, so people that bought the car had to read that stuff and like would know about like how bad the Jews were. Yeah.
See, I'll never forgive Henry Ford for making the 5-day work week. He's the real
Yeah,
bastard. He's the guy that did that.
Yeah,
but also that might be pulling from the methed up Nazis that never sleep and always just
the Blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
Dude. They invented Adderall pretty much.
Fantastic.
It's them, and then you give it to your kid, right? Going back to the Nazis though.
Yeah.
Paperclip, dude. So after the war was over, you cut a deal or you ran. And where did you run to? Like, and we get into this too. You ran to Argentina. Why did you run to Argentina? Well, Argentina loved their Nazis too.
Yeah.
And guess what? So either you had the choice, like you get caught, you can cut a deal, you could go over to America, you could go to the Russians, which you did not want to do. They took them to. We didn't take 1,600, dude. We took thousands of Nazis and put them in our programs over here.
Tens of thousands?
Biologists. No, it wasn't tens of thousands. It was under 10,000, but like probably around, if I were to guess how many, 6,000 Nazis.
That's a lot of Nazis.
You know where
higher up ones too.
You know where they stuck them? You know where they stuck them? Because they wanted to keep it
Tempe,
low-key.
Arizona.
Close.
Oh, really? Area 51.
No, but close.
Glendale, Arizona.
No, Huntington, Alabama, dude. Out in the middle of the sticks.
Yeah.
So they could hide them there. Alabama. That's where we that's where the Space Command was.
Oh.
Boom, right there.
Right.
And
there.
here's a little known fact too. These Nazis, these scientists, that a lot of these Nazis and Hitler himself actually fled to, I believe this 100%, fled to Argentina, right?
So Hitler he didn't die with what's her face?
No, there's no evidence of that. The skull that they say is his actually is a woman. Like, no, he did not. He made it to Argentina. He lived out his life till he was he died in 1962.
62s, yeah.
So did a lot of other Nazis.
Well, I do want to go back though, because so we brought him over here. You cut a deal, but why cut a deal if you know you're superior? Why cut a deal if you know you got the rest of the world over a barrel? Why cut a deal?
Are you familiar with game theory? There's two types of games you can play. There's short games and there's long games. United States plays short games.
Okay.
People like the Mujahideen,
Yeah.
The Vietnamese, the Viet Cong, they play the long game.
So
They play and play and play, and there's no end to the game.
Mhm.
Where we play short games,
It's like Monopoly. That game goes on forever.
dude.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So
Sitting on Park Place
they-
with nothing.
they realize, like, obviously, because Hitler messed up when you do not invade Russia in the winter. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't do that.
A fucking
Napoleon
snow and bears. You know it.
Napoleon did it.
Yeah.
Didn't work out so well for him
Yeah.
either. So he was a fool and kind of wrecked. That was because he couldn't fight a two-front war, against the Americans and them. Wanted the British to join him, actually made peace offerings with the British, loved the British. And there's a reason behind all of this stuff. There's a reason behind all the Nazi, like, the Vril Society is where the Nazis came from. And that was an occult society that was obsessed with Atlantis, which Atlantis was a real thing. Like, and we can get into that another podcast.
I know. I got to start making
All of
notes
their
on this one. Things we got to come
which
back
leads
to.
into the UFO thing, which
Yeah.
which in turn, that's who the tall whites are. That's when
Nazis?
Remember when I said back in our earlier, go watch the podcast. I said in our earlier podcast that the Germans were in bed getting information from this race of people that they called the tall whites or the Nordics. And go figure, they were Aryan. And that was
Blonde hair, blue eyed.
Yes,
And that's
tall,
who the Nazis were.
technologically advanced
Yep.
humans that lived on Earth that probably were responsible for the pyramids and everything else. They lived in Atlantis. And then there was some sort of like catastrophic happening where Antarctica slipped to the bottom of the world and buried their culture, and they were in peril anyway, so they escaped. All this other stuff, but that's where the Aryan thing comes from. That these people from Atlantis settled in Germanic Germany at the time with the Romans and everything like that, and they had this book that the Romans wrote about these people that settled there that were supposed to be these tall whites, which are these Atlanteans. And it was called the Book of Power. And Himmler was obsessed with finding this book, and he found it. And he found it via a count in Italy. And when Mussolini came to power, Hitler said, hey, Himmler wants to get this book from this guy, see if he can get it from this guy. And the guy wouldn't give it up, but they let them photograph it. And what it was this philosopher, I believe, in Rome. I can't remember the guy's name right now off the top of my head.
I am losing my mind.
He talked about how these people were super advanced Germanic. They weren't the barbarians that they were made up. Again, the winners write the history, right?
Mhm.
They weren't these, like, they were actually like a very advanced people, and they were the Aryans.
Yeah.
And that's why Hitler, not even Hitler, it was Himmler. Hitler really wasn't, he didn't like that they were getting into this like white supremacy thing.
Yeah.
He didn't like that. It ended up being something that they did, but he wasn't like making it that wasn't the main focus of the Nazi party per se, or later on during the war. It was a focus of his underlings that were obsessed with the occult.
I want to make it very clear. I know it sounds like Dwight is being a Nazi sympathizer right now, but that's not. He's explaining what he's read and what he's heard.
Yeah, I hate socialists. So, but I'm just saying that, like, dude, pull your heads out of your butts and think about, like, why were they 10 years more advanced than we were, and where were they getting this information? Where did nuclear technology come from? And like, they were in contact with these people.
What I think is weird is something that you would think would have been buried after World War II. We won. All right. The good guys won.
Get to that.
The Nazis are done.
Yep.
And how much it has been brought up now in the current state of what's going on. So-and-so, this guy, Elon Musk doing his little, it's wild that it would even be in a conversation. We snuffed him out. You know get what I'm saying? Like, right, we won. So what now is coming?
Ideas don't die. Ideas do not die. And what it does is it just transforms. Like, there's that old saying that Britain didn't fall as an empire. They became a bank, and Rome didn't fall, really. It became a church.
Yeah.
The Nazis didn't fall either, dude. They became American.
IBM.
They became American.
Microsoft.
And what they did was they took over America from within.
Yeah.
Okay. National Security Agency. That was a Nazi term. When did NSA start? When did that all begin? 1947. When did the CIA begin? 1947. Who is the Dulles brothers? They were Nazi sympathizers. Look it up. They were in with JP Morgan, Chase Bank, the Rockefellers. Dude, they were all Nazi sympathizers. These Nazis come over here. They start running the technology side of things. Nobody can stop them. What are you going to do? Kick them off the program?
Yeah.
How are they going to figure this stuff out? They can't. These Nazis have all this information probably given to them via some, again, we can get into that, but I digress from that.
Yeah.
What they were doing, dude, get this. Like Mexico wasn't our friends in World War II until like 42, until the Nazi U-boats sank a couple of their tankers by accident, really. I mean, I think that was totally by accident. And then they were like, what the hell? When Pearl Harbor happened, we were worried that the Mexicans were going to invade because they were supposedly neutral. They were sympathizing with the Axis powers. We were worried that they'd invade from the south.
Yeah.
That was part of the plan. Here's what these Nazis were doing. So Argentina, a bunch of them ran to Argentina, which is another Nazi sympathizer, stayed neutral during the war, got pressured into saying that like they didn't like the Axis, but the president down there loved Nazis. That's why I said, come to us, use Spain as a rat line to get over there. Tons of Nazis live there. They have, dude, there's German towns in Argentina. They had their own nuclear program, dude.
Great crowd down there.
They had their own nuclear program.
Down in Argentina?
Yes. And what they were doing was these Nazi scientists in America were meeting them down in Mexico and Mexican border towns and exchanging them classified information, giving it to these other Nazis and being like, here, go work on this. This is how this works and everything. And they were getting caught doing that. And the Americans were like, what are you doing? You can't do that. And they're like, what are you going to do? Are you going to kick us off the program? We own you. So what happened was they got into the intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
They created CIA, NASA.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a break off government inside of our government. The Nazis ran the freaking show. They became more powerful than they ever could under Hitler.
Yeah.
And that's how we have what we have today. They were the original deep state.
How did Hitler become? And so now that deep state is bled into this is our deep state.
This is our deep state.
So
again, the idea is do not die.
Now here, then Hitler, if he was a fool, he made rash decisions, hopped up on
Goofits
and PCP and goofballs and half a bottle of vodka, 3 Ludes, 2 J's, half a bottle of vodka. Was he a fall guy? Was he someone that they knew maybe good at rallying crowds, so they used him as a pulpit man?
In the beginning, he was Mein Führer. He was leading things up. Eventually, what they did was, thanks for your contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Just live your life out down here in Argentina. Now we got this. And it was a deep state.
Smarter, more powerful people behind
afterwards. It was a deep state within that old Nazi regime that they collaborated and said, pushed him off to the side, just die slowly here and we'll take over from here. And what they did was they settled in Argentina and they settled in America. And then they ended up
killing this 26-year-old.
This is what I'm talking about. Right. This is what I'm talking about. It's the slow, long game that wins.
It's a long con. Yeah.
That's what. I'm sorry, but that's what Germans do. Look at the cars they build.
Yeah.
It's
Volvo doesn't
amazing,
die,
dude.
Wait, no, that's Swede. That's Swedish. That's Swedes. Those Swedes
are
silly.
Cut to this. This is how I'm gonna wrap all the way. You're still dealing with these deep state people that are basically running the show. It's not your government.
Yeah.
It is, dude. I keep saying this. It's not your senators and dude. This is bread and circus.
Mm-hmm.
That's all this is. And they're not running the show. Military industrial complex is running the show. The tech companies are running the show. The intelligence companies, the intelligence agencies are running the show. And that was all started by Nazis.
So when did we completely lose control?
Right after the war, probably 47, we really lost control.
Because I remember you talking about JFK and him getting snuffed out. And that was kind of the last point
Eisenhower gave him information on all of this stuff. And that's probably why he got snuffed out.
What got him killed?
When the CIA came, the CIA killed him.
Yeah.
And that's Eisenhower in his farewell address said, beware the military industrial complex. Eisenhower fought these guys.
Yeah.
Eisenhower knew everything that there was to know about these Nazis and tried to warn everybody in his farewell speech. Nobody listened, and he passed it along to JFK, and JFK.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Probably more.
Well, Marilyn Monroe was there, and she
and spit on that thing.
Yeah,
the Kennedy sandwich.
There she
dude.
Okay,
and Robert F. Kennedy, dude. I'm going to tell you this right now. Robert F. Kennedy, he died. He got shot.
yeah.
JFK Jr. has said, I believe it was JFK Jr. has said that he said that was a. Let me see. I don't want to say it.
Do it. We're 40 minutes into it.
There was Lockheed there was Lockheed that offed him. I don't know this for a fact. Like, dude, it was just, I think that you can like look this stuff up, and somebody said something like that was a military industrial. Let's just put it as a military industrial complex that offed him. So let's just full circle now. We're 40 minutes in. We'll full circle around to this stuff. When these guys are getting offed by Boeing and things like that, this is still what's alive in the culture of these companies. It's still these Nazis, and their thought process, like, will just off with your head. When you see these Boeing whistleblowers get off, you see these CIA guys. Okay, now that being said, they've got some crazy technology that they can that as at their will that they can use to get to you. And one of them is Men in Black.
Will Smith. Tommy Lee Jones.
that
pug that can talk. I get what you're saying. It's some secret organization that no one knows or how to, unless you get drawn into it. All right, hold on.
Can I just give you one real quick thing?
Yeah.
In the 1950s, I believe it was 1955, there was a guy that started an organization called like the Flying Saucer Organization or something goofy, but he was like a legitimate guy that really wanted to get to the bottom of like, what were these flying saucers? Like, it was called the UFO Foundation or something like that. He claimed that he was visited by like, it was 3 specters. And what these specters were like, they could manifest themselves like in his room. They just came out of nowhere, and they were men in black and threatened him. And it scared him so much, he quit all of his UFO investigations. And that, you can look that story up. He was never heard from again. And he was threatened by these, like, we have yet to like scratch the surface of actually what is real and what is not real. And dude, they have the technology to figure this stuff out.
I can see it. Okay. Let's this was wild. We started with a 26-year-old that got the old 2 bullet. Just honestly, probably pretty innocent what he was going to do either way, but they obviously aren't playing any games.
No.
I want to ask, this is the final question. We'll delve into this. Actually, this will never see the light of day because I don't want to be murdered on my back porch. This is going to sit in a file. No one's going to see this. No.
Heart attack gun.
Don't.
You know that's real, right? That was in front of Congress. Dude, look it up. Heart attack gun. Heart attack gun.
Well, it's probably no different than like, the what's the sound one they can do? They can do that that frequency one. They just showed that down in like
they're using
like Argentina, and they all of a sudden the crowd just
disperses,
scatters, and they're like, what is good?
Yeah. But no, heart attack gun. They laid it on the counter and during on the table like 1970s in front of Congress and said like, what is that? And this guy's like, it's a heart attack gun.
My heart attack gun is just a straw with some cocaine right there.
Just give him a little bit of drink himself to death.
That's right. Hey, you just give me a fat McDonald's straw with some cocaine, I'll have a heart attack immediately. No, okay. This is what I want to know.
Fat chick.
This is what I want to know. Is it one person, or is it like a, like you see in the movies where it's a dimly lit room? And there's 12 people there, because you're
12.
saying
Majestic 12.
And Majestic 12. And I wouldn't even say they're probably German. It's probably not. We're imagining.
Yeah.
No, it's probably people that, like you said, ideas don't die.
Nope.
And now it's just something that is where we're at now. And it's a long table, and it's 12 people. All you can see is shadows and just their head. You don't get to see their face. And people walk in front of them, and they're like, hey, I did it. I took care of your business. Is that what it is? Or is it one guy?
No, it's not just a single person.
Yeah.
This is a break off government that happened to us, and like, it is still, the remnants are still here. we are still paying for our forefathers like sins is what
Yeah.
it ends up being.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is all because we wanted Nazis and we wanted the tech and we wanted to be number one.
And we cut some deals.
We
with
cut some
shady-
deals.
yeah.
So anybody out there thinking like, oh, Nazis, like, well, guess what? Your
Yeah.
government hired those Nazis, those bad men
Yeah.
to get ahead in technology and
Yeah.
win the tech war and win the Cold War and everything else and all sorts of icky shit.
and as crazy as it sounds, in knowing our government, not even the government, just people in power, it doesn't sound crazy. And I know that seems nuts, but when you got trillions of dollars, things go crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the last broadcast of Brock
Once
and White
again,
because
I am
we will
not
be
suicidal.
If anyone sees this, I didn't do it. Okay, I didn't do it. All right.
I don't have any CP
No.
on my phone at all. I like mature adult women with big breasts and tight vests.
That's what I love.
Okay.
I love them. I like a silver box. Okay, you put that on record.
I like a gray bush.
I like it.
Dust that thing up.
I like it.
Anyway,
Like old ladies that do anal. What? Okay, I ruined it. I'm sorry. I went to.
Huck to and spit on that thing.
All right, sending us out. It's the incomparable Helen Dell. We will see you all next time on Shooting the Bull. Conspiracists in cars getting coffee. This is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. This is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And we're out.